Hello, my name is Kevin Patton and I'm a therapist in Hackney. We may not have caused our problems, but we do have a responsibility to change things for the better. This means showing up for our feelings and then doing what matters. What really matters to you deep in your heart? What do you want to do with your time on this planet? What sort of person do you want to be? And what personal strengths and qualities do you want to develop? This is the 7th video in the series. We're going to begin in a few minutes. But first, we're going to spend some time coming into the room and getting ready to work. I'd like you to start by bringing your attention to your breath. Notice your breathing as you slowly breathe in and out. Perhaps imagining that you have a balloon in your belly, noticing the sensations in your belly as the balloon inflates on the in-breath and deflates on the out-breath. Notice the feelings, what it feels like. What are you feeling? What is the best word that describes what you're feeling? Angry, sad, anxious, irritated, scared, frustrated, bored. Accept the emotion. This is a normal bodily reaction. It can be helpful to understand how it came about, what it is, what the set of circumstances are that contributed to the way you're feeling just now. Don't condone or judge the emotion. Simply let it move through you without resisting it, struggling against it, or encouraging it. Pay some attention to what's happening to you. How intensely do you feel this emotion? How are you breathing? What are you feeling in your body? Where do you feel it? What's your posture like when you feel this emotion? Where do you notice any muscle tension? What's your facial expression? What does your face feel like? Is anything changing? The nature of what you're feeling, its position, its intensity. What thoughts or judgments do you notice? Just notice those thoughts. Allow them to come into your mind. and allow them to pass. Anytime you feel that you're engaging with the thoughts, judging them, or judging yourself for having them, believing them, struggling against them, just notice and bring your attention back to your breathing and to the physical sensations of the emotion. If any other emotions come up, if anything changes, simply notice and bring your attention back to your breathing, the physical sensations of your emotion. Just notice that the feelings change over time. As you become more practiced, you can use this technique whenever you feel more intense emotions. Take a breath. Stretch, move your arms and legs around. What was it like to connect to the observing self? Sometimes during an exercise, issues that have been suppressed for some time can begin to rise to the surface. Were there things you noticed that you may have repressed in the past? If so, what kind of experiences did you notice? What was it like to notice them? And how did you deal with them? The last video was about examining problems and setting goals. This is part of the KIR skill set. This video is about embracing values, the fourth skill in the set. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Keeping it real combines the power of hypnosis, the science of CBT, and the wisdom of mindfulness to help you feel better, sleep better, and start taking your life back. Knowing what you want more of in your life is a good place to start. To identify your values, you might start by asking yourself a couple of questions. If I was at my own funeral, what would I want my friends to say about me? If I became the leader of my country, what qualities would I need? The answers give you some idea about what you respect in yourself and other people. What do you want to have your life stand for? What gets you fired up? What inspires you? What infuriates you? When do you feel you're living life your way? What gives you a sense of pride, achievement, doing it well, doing it the way you want to? This is the stuff that makes your actions mean something. This is an exercise you can do after the video. You can pause the video for a bit and screen save the picture. Make your importance ratings starting by rating the importance of each area by marking the number on the importance scale 1 to 10. It's okay if you don't value all areas or you don't rate them as being equally important. Simply rate each area according to your own personal sense of importance. It's also fine if you end up rating only 1 or 2 areas as very important, or if you rate most areas as important to you. What matters here is that you look inside yourself and you make an honest rating of what's important to you personally. If you rate an area as unimportant by giving it a 1, then move on and rate the next area until you've rated the importance of all the value domains. As before, you can pause the video and screen save the picture. Ask how happy you are with the way things are going in each of the areas. Closer to the bullseye, the better things are going in that part of your life. Further away from the bullseye, the less happy you are with them. The areas you've identified as important, between 8 and 10, and the areas you aren't happy with, the outer rings of the target, these are the areas where making a change will have the most impact on the quality of life. If you have a lot of areas that look important where you're not happy with the way things are, you can rate your satisfaction. Bullseye is 10, outermost ring is 1. The difference between your importance rating and your satisfaction rating suggests the priority of making a change in that area. If we have a draw on a number of areas, start with the ones on the left-hand side of the target, working top to bottom. The bigger the gap between where you are now and being the person you want to be, living the life you know you should be living, the more pain and stress you're going to have in your life. You can reduce the impact of this pain for a while, but until you close the gap, it will, and it should, keep coming back. This is another exercise you can do after the video. You can pause the video now and screen save the picture. Values are your heart's deepest desire for how you want to behave as a human being. They're not about what you want to get or achieve. They're about how you want to behave or act on an ongoing basis. How you want to treat yourself, other people, the world around you. There are literally hundreds of different values, hundreds of different ways of living with yourself, other people, and the world around you. This is a list of the more common ones. Probably not all of these will be relevant to you. That's all right. There's no such thing as right values or wrong values. It's a bit like our taste in pizza. You might like ham and pineapple, while I prefer salami and olives. It doesn't mean that my taste is right and you're some kind of perverse monster, in spite of what social media says. So pick an area in your life that you want to improve and go through the list, rating each value as V, very important, Q, quite important, and N, not important. Make a note of the values that you thought very important. These are the ones to focus on to improve your satisfaction in that area of your life. The more you bring these values into that area, the more meaningful and fulfilling that area of your life will be. We'll look at living according to our values and some tips to help us do this in the Finding Your Flow video. For now, let's try to identify some things that we've done that move us towards being the person we want to live, living life as we want to. In other words, helpful. Can you remember a time in the last week when you felt good? Take a moment, just close your eyes, and picture yourself in that situation where you felt good. Now, with your eyes still closed, try to remember what you were doing at the time. Okay, now open your eyes. What did you notice? So down here at the bottom, there are some emotions that might keep cropping up, or things that you're doing, catastrophizing, predicting the worst, worrying. When these things show up, we have a choice. We can get hooked up in them by fusing with them. I think this, it must be true, this is who I am, this is what my life is like. You can get caught up in trying to avoid or control these feelings. You can set yourself massive goals that you're going to do all these things to get out of it, and overwhelm yourself with those goals. You can lose track of who you are. You can get lost in all this busy emotion and intense feelings. These things move you away from showing up as your real self, living life as you want to live it. Or you can unhook yourself from these things using the diffusion exercises that we looked at earlier. Opening up, showing up for your feelings and letting them be. Setting yourself some realistic goals so that you can start taking care of business and doing what matters. This moves you towards being the person you want to be, living life as you want to live it. The matrix, not that one, is a simple to use format to help us learn to discriminate between direct experiences with the senses and indirect experience with the mind. That's that vertical line. Down at the bottom, you've got the mental experience. This stuff is going on inside you. And up at the top, this is stuff that's coming in through your five senses, telling you about what's happening outside yourself in the world with other people. And then there's the idea of sorting behavior into two directions called towards and away. That's the horizontal line. The right-hand side is towards, and the left-hand side is away. Learning to use the matrix is experiential, and much of the same learning is used when you're like riding a horse or a bike or playing the piano or paddling a kayak. It can be learned very quickly, but it takes a little bit of time and practice to become good at it. Mainly people who practice learning to notice where behaviors are taking them and to align that with what's important do a bit better at this. The model can be used outside of resilience building. For instance, it's already used in education, in the workplace, and it was used in Sierra Leone to help combat the spread of the Ebola virus. Down here, in the right-hand quadrant, is what matters, the stuff that's important. You've got pain, suffering. These things can pull you away from showing up for what matters in your life. Up here in the top left quadrant, it's all the running away, hiding, trying to control the feelings, trying to make them go away. Getting caught up in this stuff moves you away from what matters. And then you've got things that you could do that will bring more joy and meaning into your life. These things move you towards what matters. Some of the things we talked about earlier were external to us, and we use our 5 senses to do them. Some of them were more internal, where we're shifting focus to something that's interesting, useful, or fun. We can look at these thoughts by answering some questions. How does doing this make you feel? What activities help you to feel good about yourself? What activities give you strength? What activities can keep you feeling good? In this video, we practiced a mindfulness of emotions exercise. We looked at our life compass. We used the bullseye exercise to identify where there's room for improvement in our lives. We explored what we stand for and how the bigger the gap between what matters to us and where we are, the more pain we have. We revisited the choice point, and we looked at using the matrix to help us choose how we want to show up in our lives. How might you use this stuff to help you move towards the life you want to live? This is my email or my phone number. Please feel free to contact me if you have any thoughts or questions about any of the things we've discussed. Thanks a lot for watching.